Angel, I feel like you cannot blame the people for the energy that you are receiving. Now, do I think that all of the ladies shouldn't have piled on Angel? Absolutely. I think it definitely looks like a gang up because so many people were talking, getting involved. But at the same time, I can understand if you did not get to shower, you would be pissed. You couldn't brush, you couldn't use the toilet, you could not shower, you couldn't even do a bird bath to like properly clean yourself because there was no water. And then the host did not give a dang, did not call you, did not text you, did not ask. Even the other girls didn't even check in, did not ask no questions. They did not care. They were enjoying their lives and enjoying their time in Colorado. I would be pissed too. And so I definitely completely understand that the girls were all irritated and all speaking. It affected every single one of them. Now, I will say, I will give credit to Monique. Monique could have been chiming in that moment, but Monique decided not to pile on, which I really appreciate. I even think Ashley was a little bit quieter than Ashley normally would. It was Gizelle and Wendy that had the most to say about the accommodations. And I do not blame them. Even Stacey was talking about the accommodations as well. And I know you all like to call Giselle a mean girl. And yes, Giselle can be very harsh in the way in which she talks to people. But let's think about it. Even Stacy had words to say about Angel and the accommodation. That shows the people were frustrated. Let's be clear. They already told Angel the night before at the dinner that the water was not working. The least, even if Angel sent someone over there, the least you could have done is message the girlies, guys, is the water now working? Is everything okay? She did not do that. So she has nobody to blame but herself. And to even think that Angel actually does hosting for a living with the Wanderlust or whatever it is called, girl, it's not looking good. Hey, lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. I do reality TV commentary. I also do commentary on celebrity news and everything in between. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that, turn on your notifications so you know every single time that I post or go live. I also ask that you like and share. And now let's get into it. So the episode started off with the people were pissed with the accommodations, okay? So they were on the private jets. Angel, you could see that Angel and them lot were thinking like, oh, it's gonna be all rosy. We go, Angel thought she was just gonna go in there and apologize and everything will be all good and dandy. But the girlies were not having it. The girlies were like, hell nah. And like I said, can you blame them? Wendy was like, no one even asked, no one even pretended to care and say, like, are you guys okay? Should we send an Uber over so that you guys can shower? Uh-oh, that's my notification to take my medication. Let me pause this. I'll come back, guys. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, the people Wendy was basically saying like y'all couldn't even pretend to care. Like let us know, just even say, "Oh, should we send an Uber over to you guys so that you guys can come over and take a shower at the house?" Like nothing, no one gave a dang. And I can guarantee you that if it was Kay that did not have water, I feel like even her energy would have been different, considering the way that she had an issue with Stacy just for existing, right? And so I just feel like I wish that people would not so much focus on how upset the ladies were, in particular on that private jet, because they're just coming in, they're upset. They've had to probably spend hours trying to figure out how to look decent, how to like get themselves together to a point where they don't feel disgusting. They're having to go out all day. Do you know what I mean? So like they probably used wipes to like wipe their armpits and all. So let's be honest. I personally understand. Like, I cannot imagine not being able to shower, not being able to go to the toilet. Like, I remember there was one day I had a plumbing issue. When I tell you, I paid extra for the person to come ASAP to sort it out because I just could not imagine not having water, not being able to pee and not flush. I just could not imagine that. I was like, how much is it? Can you come today? So I just don't really get why I feel like people don't have a little bit of grace for the ladies. Now, I do agree that it does feel a little bit like a pile on. I will say that. I agree with that. Now, Giselle told the ladies she found them alternative accommodations in the Four Seasons. I'm like, okay, Giselle. Now, that is how you switch things up and turn things around. Now, the bit I didn't also like was Angel did say she had also found accommodations, but I definitely do understand with people feeling like, girl, I do not trust you. The first day we told you we didn't have water, you should have found us alternative arrangements. We had to do another extra day with no water in the place, and you did not give a dang, right? And so I definitely get Giselle stepping in and doing trying to find the accommodations. I do feel like Giselle was a bit too harsh. I always think like I understand that yes, things are upsetting you and you're annoyed about the fact that you don't have water. Like I said, she is well within her rights to be pissed. I would be pissed too. But then I feel like Angel already feels bad. Angel was trying to apologize, and everybody was just piling on, which made it really bad as well. It's funny, I was looking on like just certain blogs, and I was seeing like a lot of people were like, oh, I feel bad for Angel. And that is what happens when there is a pile up. Now, Angel, the people are feeling bad for Angel when Angel was wrong. You know what I mean? And so I think sometimes we need to do better with our delivery to because I feel like if we don't do better with our delivery, people would always feel bad for the person that was at fault. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely think I wish the ladies did not all pile on her and did a little better with that. Now, let's move on to the next thing that happened. Monique, I love how Monique is direct. Monique is like, I'm with the ish. I'm just going to ask this question directly. She literally went to Monique. She literally said at lunch, focused on Jazzy and said, did you tell Angel about our conversation? And Jazzy said yes. And so Monique was basically trying to explain to Angel, like, sometimes you're doing a lot in your marriage, not because the other person isn't doing anything as well. And I feel like Monique kind of threw Angel a bone during that conversation, but she was like, it can feel exhausting. And it can get to the point where you're hanging around your friends and you're very defensive. And I thought that Monique handled that conversation really, really well, if I'm being completely honest. I do think also Angel handled it well. Angel was like, nah, we don't have no issues over there at the house. Um, and she basically said that when she talks about telling Bobby is because they're a team, she needs to give him a heads up and let him know. She also said she uses the verb watch, even with herself watching the kids. She doesn't think there's anything wrong with it. That's just basically how she describes it. Jazzy tried to chime in and said, yeah, she had an issue with the verb watch just because of what Monique said. I'm like, girl, Jazzy, shut up. This has nothing to do with you. Yes, you've been the bone carrier and decided to take it over to Angel. That is fine. But at the same time, why are you chiming in now to say you have a problem with watch? Like, girl, let Monique and Angel have their conversation without you piling on. And it's interesting to see that as soon as Jazzy tried to pile on and jump in, Kiana was like, yeah, I'm jumping in now. But Kiana be so silent when everybody is dragging her friend. And I won't be surprised if Angel and Kiana kind of go through a bad period in their relationship because I don't feel like Kiana's voice is loud enough. You're not loud enough when it comes to your friend. And I don't think that is fair at all, especially because your friend has been dragged by her ponytail. Does she have a ponytail? Your friend has been dragged by her hair constantly in this group. You were the one that brought her into this group. You should at least help her navigate. And I don't think you're helping her navigate. I think you're making it worse, in my opinion. Now, this is where I feel like Jazzy does too much. And you guys know that I've talked about how I feel like some of these housewives end up coming on the show, especially the ones that have to audition for so long before they get the peach, aka Shamia. And I feel like they come to the show and they do too much because they want to be accepted. They want it to be popular. And I feel like that's really what it is given, in my opinion. Jazzy basically chimed in and was basically saying to Tia that she feels like Tia got to stay at Angel's house by default. I'm like, Jazzy, you're so rude and you need to chill the F out because that is not necessary. And the way she was so rude to Tia was so shocking. Like, even Tia looks confused. Like, girl, you and I are cool. Why do you have so much vim for me? And I'm like, Tia, I know you like Jazzy, but this is the second time that she has come at you sideways. So I need you to clock her and know that next time she comes at you sideways, you better be ready to pounce. Because she's done it twice now. That is intentional. That lady knows what she's doing. She is trying to use you to be able to then come on the show as a full-time housewife. She's trying to create enough of a controversy, enough of drama, or enough drama to hopefully be able to give her an opportunity to come back on the show. That's what I think. That's the energy I personally get from the whole thing. Now, I will say something, and I do agree with Wendy. I do agree 100% with Wendy that Angel needs to begin to stand on business. Low key, I feel like Angel was the one that caused this for herself. I say that because if Angel did not bring Bobby into it, and told the girlies, I don't want to sleep over with you guys, people would not be out here thinking maybe Bobby is controlling. Because if you watch the conversation that Bobby and Angel had, it was obvious that Angel did not want to go. Bobby did not seem to be completely against her going. She did not want to go. And this is what I mean about Angel needs to stand on business. If she had stood on business and said, you know what, you guys don't even like me, I do not want to do a sleepover with you guys, that would have been enough. That would have been okay. She would have said, all right, cool. Everybody would be like, do you know what, Angel? I respect it. But the problem is, Angel did not say that. Instead, Angel was like, oh, I will just check with Bobby. And he just made it seem like Bobby is the one that does not want you to spend time with the ladies when you do not want to spend time with the ladies. And I think we have to be careful when we use excuses. I know a lot of parents use like their children as excuses or their spouse as excuses. And this is a perfect example of when you use your spouse as an excuse for not hanging out with a group of people, it can start to seem like your spouse is controlling. It can start to seem like you're doing things by yourself, which is where I feel like this whole thing came from. So I agree with Wendy. Stand on business. I gave you the room because you don't like me. You have never treated me well. Think about how Stacy didn't get a name badge or anything, no personalized gifts. And Giselle said, I didn't give her no personalized things because I don't know her. I don't know her, right? She stood on business. You need to stand on business. I didn't invite y'all to my house because I don't like y'all and y'all don't like me. I only invited the people that like me and I like. Simple, right? I feel like that could have been it. That was enough. But instead, you try to make it seem like, nah, I have no issues with anybody. And, I'm bringing y'all over to Colorado, my home, when that is not what it's going to be. And so I definitely think that Angel would have a better time if she stood on business rather than acting like everything is innocent and you're not trying to be petty. You're trying to be petty. Excuse me, own it, right? And so Wendy is right about Angel not standing on business and is always running. Now, it did get to the point where Angel started crying, y'all. Angel started crying. And I will say I loved that Monique went over there, tried to make Angel feel better, rubbed her on the back, gave her a little bit of advice. I thought that was very, very sweet. And I think it was interesting that Tia and Monique said in their confessionals, I believe, that she feels like everyone is a little bit too hard on Angel. And I agree. I think that everybody's way too hard on Angel. I don't think Angel is innocent. I think Angel definitely needs to be checked. But I don't think the way in which she is being checked is the way to go about it. I feel like it feels like a pylon. We did not like when it felt like it was everybody versus Stacy at the start of this season. Now the people feel like it's everybody versus Angel. And nobody likes that. Nobody likes feeling like everybody hates you, right? And so I definitely understand Angel sort of breaking down, but it's like, girl, you have to develop a tough skin. Don't let these people see you sweat. If you're upset, go into the bathroom, honey. Cry it out, clean your face, talk to yourself in the mirror, put on some lipstick, and come back out swinging. That's what I really feel like Angel needs to be doing. Instead, Angel is too emotional. She feels slighted too easily. She doesn't let things go, and it's just entirely too much. Now, it was interesting that when they got to Aspen, right? I don't know if you guys clocked. It almost felt like Kay was trying to wind Angel up. Did you guys notice? Let me know if you noticed. Put it in the chat. Did you notice that Kay was trying to wind Angel up? Because she kept bringing it up, and then saying in the same breath, "I know you may not really want to talk about it now. You just want things to go well and stuff." Yes, she wants things to go well. Yes, she wants to move on. Yes, she wants to try to salvage the trip as much as possible. That's what she is trying to do. How about you help her do that? You support her by trying to make the trip fun for everybody. That's what you should be doing, right? I don't think that you trying to pull her to the side to basically say, like, yeah, you feel like she hasn't really been able to get how she feels out. Like, girl, please, now is not the time. The trip already has gone left. She's trying to salvage the trip. You're low key trying to wind her up on the side. It's like, what do you want? Do you expect that after speaking to her, she's going to pull up and have a conversation with the girlies and then go crazy? Is that what you want? I'm glad that Angel did not give her that satisfaction. And Angel was just like, yeah, and just moved on. Because imagine Angel then brought that energy to the girls. The girls would have ate her up. Ate her up. Ate her for lunch, honey. They would have ate her up. But yeah, I'm definitely glad that that didn't happen. Now, let's move on. I saw the bit about the gifts. I thought that a lot of the things I would not really spend my money on. I understand jewelry, but yeah, I'm not spending my money on, a lot of the things that they were buying. But I guess Stacy was like, "See, this is how you keep your money and continue to get rich." And I'm like, "Yep, Stacy." Monique didn't get anything either, which I completely understand. Like, I wouldn't have known what to get. Maybe I would have gotten jewelry. Because like I don't necessarily see myself getting anything else. It's like, when am I really going to use it? All that kind of stuff. What did make me cringe though is when Wendy talks about I'm rich. I'm like, sis, and my daughter is too, or our kids are too. It's like, girl, what are you doing? Who are you trying to prove anything to? And it's just so sad because now we know so much about what has been happening in the background, honey, and it ain't looking good. So it's like now that we know that allegedly Pamela was out here, and all these different things. So many different credit cards and all of that. It makes it hard for us when you say things like you're rich or the kids are rich too. Because now we're thinking, are y'all rich for real? Also, what will the financial documents show? These are some of the things that I'm curious about, right? So it definitely sounds like a lot. We'll have to see what happens with their case, but it's not looking good for them. But I just thought that was a side comment that happened in passing, and I just thought, very, very interesting. Now let's move on to Ashley. Ashley just cannot help herself. Ashley just cannot help herself. Now, I know Mauricio is cute or whatever, sure. But Ashley, girl, you even know Kyle. What are you doing? It's like with Ashley, there are no limits, there are no boundaries. And I'm like, sis, you don't even have any sort of line that you wouldn't cross. Like, how can you even say you were hanging out with Kyle recently? At least that's what I heard her say. I heard her say something about hanging with Kyle recently. So if you were truly hanging with Kyle recently, why do you think it is okay to be over there trying to talk to her man or ex-man or whatever the case may be? Out of respect. Like, where is the boundary? But seeing what we are now seeing, are we shocked that Charisse that she had something to do with Charisse's son? It feels like there's no boundaries. If she really wants somebody or doesn't even want somebody, if she finds somebody attractive, that is enough for her to do whatever it takes. I will say it was cute to see Stacey and Ashley getting along, but at the same time, it was like, guys, what are we doing? This is entirely too much. And I love that Gizelle stepped in because Gizelle was like, we do not want a Beverly Hills versus Potomac. Gizelle was probably, and this is why I feel like Gizelle is on the show. Gizelle already knows that Kyle has a huge pull. This is my take. My perspective, I may be wrong. Giselle already knows that Kyle has a huge pull with Bravo, honey. Kyle is not gonna like it. A lot of the Bravo people are not gonna like it. It is not going to be good for Potomac. And so guess what she did? She was like, nah, I am interfering. I am stepping in. I am interfering straight away. She jumped in, stepped in, and I appreciated that. Now, what I did notice was, I don't know if you guys watched the after show. All of the ladies were talking about how, or most of the ladies were talking about how Mauricio was attractive. But ultimately, even though Gizelle is not friends with Kyle like that, she feels like it's not right. It's kind of like a girl's girl thing. And also, it's like, we don't want no smoke with Beverly Hills and Potomac. And she kind of felt like ex-husbands of any housewife should be off limits. And I think it's better to do that because at the end of the day, there are so many people in the world. Why do you want someone's ex-husband from the show? It's like you can find someone else. And so I definitely liked that Gizelle stepped in and was like, yeah, let me get in there and split this up before it becomes a thing. I think Giselle also knows Ashley very, very much. And she's like, nah, I need to step in to cut this straight away. Now, where I feel like Giselle went overboard is Giselle then took over the whole trip. Giselle told the people she got them some accommodations. Giselle asked if Angel was going to stay over. She said yes. And then she was like, yeah, so after we do that, then tomorrow we're doing brunch and then we're going home. I'm like, Oh, like, girl, this ain't your trip. Like, this is not your trip. You don't have to step in and start, taking over the trip. There is no reason for all of that, right? And so I definitely think that she took it way too far. I don't think there was any need for her to step in and then take over the ladies' strip. I think Angel was looking forward to the fishing. I think the fishing should have happened. I don't think that I don't think just coming and then taking over this girl's trip is the right way. Let's be honest, it's a different thing if Angel wasn't like repentant or apologetic. Angel was very apologetic about everything that happened, whether or not it's the truth or whatever, or she was trying to be shady. She was apologetic. And I wish that instead of dragging it so much, I wish that Gizelle would just let it rest. And look, sometimes the way Gizelle behaves, I'm like, Gizelle, you're too harsh. And I see how wonderful her children are. And I always wonder, like, wow, she raised them so well. But then she is so harsh with people. And it's like, why are you so harsh with people? Like, I do really wonder, like, what is going on there? Like, why are you just so harsh with people? Because I'm sure you are not that harsh with your children. I understand, yeah, they're your children and whatnot, but usually people that are just so miserable and mean, they usually also horrible and mean to their children as well. Maybe not on the same level, but to an extent. So just seeing how she is with her children, how her children turned out so well, how lovely and loving she looks and seems to her children. I always wonder about why she is so different from that on the show. Is it because she feels like she has to have a persona on the show? I really don't understand it. So maybe y'all can help me, but let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you know every single time that I post or go live. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you, everybody.